Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Rush Racing League Division number 4. We're going to go ahead and kick things off here with a full qualifying session here around the historic Temple of Speed here. We're racing at Monza. High speeds, tight chicanes, and probably a little bit of chaos to kick things off here in Div 4. It's a good start to the week, but we'll have to see how the racing goes. Once again, in the comms box, it is myself, Patrick Coleman, a.k.a. Ruckus, and alongside me is the one, the only, Shaz. How are you doing today, mate?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I'm looking forward to tonight. Quick little jump in, host the lobby. There's a whole lot to do, but looking forward to tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun here as the qualifying is just about to go ahead and get started. So it'll be 3 full sessions here. We do have just about a full 20 car grid. Our 20th driver will be expected to be joining in during the qualifying session, so it's going to be pretty much business as usual. So with there being a full qualifying, it is going to be our 5 slowest drivers, so from P16 down to P20, will be eliminated at the end of the timer, and then we go into qualifying 2, where it is going to be P11 to P15 that will be eliminated. And then we have one more final session for our 10 car shootout. And then we have, I believe, around 30 or so laps to go ahead and give us our first taste of Monza here this week.
Yeah, exactly right. This is a fantastic track. Technical, tight in places. Turn 1's been carnage in practice. Last night we were lucky to be able to have it nice and clean for turn 1, so hopefully tonight we can have the same thing.
That's right, so it's a bit of a correction. So it's our second taste of Monza here on the week, because we did have Division 1 race earlier on. They raced last night, and now it is time to go to kick things off for Div 4. It's your first taste of double action here tonight, though, I will say, because we do have Div 2 racing directly after this, as we're going to go ahead and get our first taste of cars out on circuit. It is going to be Gangster going ahead and jumping on in. As far as I am aware, there are no quali bans this time around, so everybody will be able to get their fair shot in qualifying, as Gangster will be the first one out. Now, like you said, turn 1 Monza is pretty rough, lap 1. What I've also been seeing, because I've been in kind of watching some of the practice sessions from some of these drivers across divisions. Shout out to Nishka and all the struggles he went through over the course of the last week, but there's been some interesting track limits violations that have been happening here. I think in a recent update they did mess with the track limits around Monza, so it is a bit easier to actually invalidate your lap. I'm sure we're probably going to see that here tonight, and it may result in some penalties here, Shaz.
Yeah, it is. It's tight, especially in through the first chicane. It's tight. The second chicane at Ascari, if you get it wrong and cut across and hit the sausage curb, you are out as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what these guys get up to and what happens to these guys.
Just a quick question. Do you have Chidong added so we can get him invited into the session?
I shall have a look.
Alright, well, Hugh retired, although I haven't seen anything saying that he did have a quali ban.
Yeah, Hugh did, yep.
Okay, I looked at...
Tried wrong.
I looked in the wrong section, so, correction, 1 quali ban here on the night, as Gangster is going to be the first one on a lap, and that Sky doesn't exactly look too friendly here. So I wonder if we're going to see what we saw kind of in the North American Singapore race that happened a few hours ago, where it is a mixed weather race weekend, because it started off like torrential downpour, although granted it is a much different track, Monza to Singapore, in a lot of different ways, but weather could be a factor here tonight, and that's going to really shake things up. So if the weather is expected, and quality in particular, then these drivers are really got to go ahead and turn on the afterburners, on the set of soft tires, as Gangster makes his way through Ascari, making the run down to Parabolica, and we'll see what his lap time is going to be. Chidung is here now, so he will partake in qualifying. The second Kick Sauber is here, and now we see Gangster coming around the last corner. He's going to hug that inside line to get the fastest time possible, and it'll be a 1:19 to go ahead and set things off here.
Yeah, nice quick banker. I did 4. I'll throw a prediction out during qualifying. Won't be at the start of qualifying, but we'll get a prediction out at some stage into the chat about where we see it happening.
Yeah, I reckon it's. I reckon it's gonna be quite a while. Yeah, we are gonna be. It'll be interesting to see how this quali plays out. It is full quali, unlike previous weeks where we have done short quali. This time it is a full quali, so it'll be 3 sessions instead of just the 1. So if somebody gets a qualifying position in this stage of around a P14, not great. They'll get another chance to give it a better go. The track will be a bit more rubbered in at that stage, and I think it looks like that the sun is briefly starting to come out, maybe. Although I don't think the clouds are getting any worse. So, and there's an invalidation there from GM Reigns, who competed earlier on in the very, very chaotic North American Singapore race. So I wonder if that's at the same spot that we were seeing some of these drivers in practice kind of get these weird invalidations. Because I remember seeing it pretty much right before the Lesmos, but we'll see it. We'll see where it hits tonight as F7 jumps up to P2 in Q1. And now we see that Rayner, there we go. He's a reserve driver reserving for Mercedes tonight, replacing Tyler Mandavy, and he jumps up to provisional pole. That's a very good bank lap. A 1:18 to go to kick things off here in Monza. That's a very good start there for the reserve. We will see if anyone else can attempt anything. Are you okay, Shaz?
Yeah, mate, just trying to fix my mic volume. Oh.
Okay, I was getting a little concerned there for a moment.
No, Nisku was saying that my mic was too low, so I was just testing my mic volume. That's a solid banker from Ranieri. Obviously, he got put up in the last silly season up into Division 4. So he's gone hard, and it's good to see him in here tonight, reserving up. So that's good to see. But some of these guys early on, and we're seeing some carnage as I go through the pack with people getting caught with invalidations. So it is quite tight for those guys to do times. We've only got a couple of people on laps at the moment, Dynasty being one of them. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens as this full qualifying progresses through.
Indeed, yeah, and once again, it gives some drivers a second wind, if you will, if they weren't exactly too satisfied with their qualifying performance in Q1, then they can go ahead and give it another go in Q2. Granted, they are outside of the bottom 5, then they can go ahead and give it another go. Still a lot of drivers who have yet to set laps. Only 9 drivers on the current field have set a lap so far. The next driver who, actually, never mind, that is not going to be the next driver to go ahead and do it. We'll check in with Breadman. We'll see. He set a purple sector 1, so Breadman going ahead and flying through this Monza circuit now. Compared to Silverstone last week, where Silverstone is a very twisty track, Monza has its chicanes, but it's just full-on speed. Just straight-up speed. a lot of drivers are going to be running very minimal wing setups, so probably I wouldn't be surprised if a good chunk of the field are running 0-0 wings. Some of them are running a bit of a different wing setup for qualifying. Particularly that front wing angle is probably going to be a bit higher so they can navigate through Ascari and the first chicane. So, because the first chicane is very tight, so we know that it can be really, really difficult to make it through, especially on lap 1, turn 1. We'll see where Bedman goes. He jumps up into 6th with a time of a 1:19.3. And that is a pretty solid banker lap there for the Mercedes man as we check in with ADOS.
ADOS. At start, it's going to be tight. He clips the sausage curb, which unsettles the car slightly, but he comes around into the double right-hander onto the run down to Ascari now into the DRS zone. He'll open it up. Unless there's a glitch on my system, he's not burning any battery, so he might have stuffed up early on in this lap. Doesn't say that he's invalidated, but he's in full, so maybe he's seen something that others haven't and is warming the tyres up.
That is a potential thing, especially because he did nail that sausage curb, and it sometimes makes sense to kind of just go ahead, take a bit of a breather, go ahead and get a good reset going, and then give it another go. Chidung setting a purple sector himself through sector 2. Oh, but he goes very wide through Ascari. That's an invalidation, so that purple sector will be for nothing, and he'll have to give it another go here. Still only a few drivers yet to set their quali laps at the moment. A driver who had a very long day yesterday in GM Reigns, or just Reigns now. He had a tough race in the North American Singapore Grand Prix, which was a very caution-heavy race. We had 4 safety cars and changing weather conditions, so that was it's been a long day so far for Reigns. We'll see if he can go ahead and let's hope he's rested enough to go ahead and give it a go here, as Chidung is going to come into the pits. Looks like Reigns is going to be the next one to set a lap here. We'll see where the McLaren goes. He's going to make his way through Parabolica, and now he's going to go ahead and come across the line. There's a V car parked in a really bad spot on track. He'll jump up in the 15th, but that V car is in a really bad spot on track. Yeah, it's Jenneth. Yeah, Jenneth was just right on the exit of Parabolica.
Yeah, I did see that as he come through. Don't know what was going on there. They'll be looked at by the see what happened there, because that is quite a dangerous. He had to take some. That would have been tough for him as he come through Parabolica. ADOS does better his time there. He does a 20, so he has got a time, but he's going to have to be careful because he's in the drop zone at the moment.
Yeah, he's pretty much in that danger zone. Yeah, I mean, ADOS right now is in that danger zone because pretty much the general rule of thumb is, especially in qualifying, when you have the 3-stage qualifying like we have right now, you do have a few positions where you're safe, but you're pretty much in a danger zone. And that is generally, at least in this case right now, it is P13 through P15 is roughly that danger zone. In this case, you could extend it to P12. Because, I mean, there's going to be 4 extra cars eliminated. Hugh serving a quali ban. He's going to go ahead and start from the back of the grid. Unless somebody gets a contact here where they have to go ahead and get a 5-place grid drop and they're eliminated in Q1. That's a possibility as well. But once again, the bottom 4 cars will be eliminated here. So P16 down to P19 will be dropped after this session. And then we're going to go to the next one, which is from P11 to P15. And then is our 10-car shootout as we are down to the final 4.5 minutes of qualifying here in Monza. And we'll be riding on board with Kauko. Kauko setting a purple sector 1, so a lot of drivers improving through that sector. We'll see about sector 2 now. Going through the Lesmos, it is very easy to invalidate on this part of the track. You carry so much momentum through the Lesmos that you can really just have a really rough time of it. And now he's going to make his way down to Ascari. And here's a spot where we saw Chidong invalidate a bit earlier on. He makes it through there pretty fine, so he's improving. It's registering as purple sectors. So we'll see if those truly are purple sectors. Now he goes to Parabolica, one of the most crucial corners on this track. He's got to be careful. Oh, he gets really close to the line. He's going to turn on the afterburners. He's out of battery, but he'll jump up into P6, and that's a really good time for the Haas driver.
Yeah, that's good to see. My two fellow teammates in 6th and 9th at the moment here. Interesting to see that F7's lap is the only one that's done a lap on medium tyres.
Indeed, and we have had a request to show the telemetry, which we will go ahead and do for the remainder of quali, but we will try to back off when we get racing here. As Chidong is currently burning up the battery now, going to go ahead and come across the line, taking it to P11, so he'll be safe, but not exactly in the best of spots here. So the drivers currently in the danger zone, you have Dynasty, aka Brandy, you have Claire, Mudpack, Cheechin. Those are drivers kind of in the danger zone. Drivers in the drop zone are Hennessy, Ados, Reigns, and Jenneth. So those are pretty much the drivers that we really got to keep an eye on. But there isn't a big gap here through this whole field. I mean, it's only 1.6 seconds from P1 to P19. So, I mean, with this track being as grippy as it's going to get for Q1, these drivers can really go ahead and set some really quick lap times. We could see some 0 to hero times here in Q1 here, Shaz.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be carnage for the last 5 or so minutes of this quali session. Once these guys get out, it's going to be a test about when they can get to the line. Have they been able to time it with the track being the best they can? So it'll be interesting to see how they go. But it's going to be one of those things that it's going to come down to timing, I think, and who can get a clean track.
Indeed, and also coming into, and this also could set a pretty good precedent for the weekend to come. As right now we are seeing pretty much a majority of the field come back out. They're on out lap right now to go ahead and try to get the best lap they could possibly be in to go ahead and just lock it in for position and try to move on to the next stage of qualifying here. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Taking a look at some standings here as these drivers go ahead and do their out laps. Right now, Ferrari is in the constructors' lead here. They don't have a big gap to Mercedes here, but also Williams is only 7 points behind Williams is only 7 points behind Mercedes in this constructors' championship. So we'll just have to see how this goes for them, who can make or break positions, as Hennessy will go ahead and give it another go. He's in the drop zone currently. He needs to be P15 or better to move on to the next stage of qualifying. So it looks like our top 4 are done and dusted. Gangster's also done. Chidong in a really rough spot, but he's going to be in the pits as well. So we'll see if Hennessy can improve. He is up by 2/10, which will get him up. I think that'll just get him out of Q1, but once again, there's a lot of drivers going ahead and putting in some laps here. Claire is in second place right now, so Claire's probably safe. Reigns jumps up to the 3rd. That's a good time there from the McLaren. And now we're going to start seeing some drivers really try to give it their all here. So Chidong is really in the danger zone here. So we'll see if Hennessy can go ahead and make it through. Hennessy is improving, but is it going to be enough to get him out of the session, get him out of Q1? Mudpack improves. We'll see about the other drivers. Come across the line now. It'll be Hennessy will be the next one to cross. in the Red Bull. He's going to come across the line. It's an improvement to 17th. He's out. Dynasty, what is he going to do? Is he going to be safe? He'll move up to 11th. Chidung is out. So Jenneth Lee, ADOS, the ball's in your court. It's an invalidation. So Jenneth is out. What about ADOS? He's out as well. So we have our eliminated drivers coming out of Q1.
Yeah, that's interesting Q1, to say the least. Good to see though, from the 19 drivers that qualified, there's less than a second in the time, so that's massive to see and good to see.
Also, I do want to make something known. Apparently I can't read numbers today because that was Div 2 standing, so that'll be applicable to the race later on tonight. Take a look at actual Div 4 standings. McLaren do lead the Constructors' Championship, followed by Alpine and Haas, which those two are pretty closely knit in the battle. Battle for P4 in the Constructors is pretty red hot here with Aston Martin and then, Mercedes and Sauber all within 6 points of each other. So that's good stuff there. So I do apologize for a bit of that misinformation, but we do have our 4 eliminated drivers plus the driver serving the quali ban. So we're going to go ahead and run through our eliminated drivers. The Mercedes reserve driver is going ahead and getting into that position. So he's got a pretty promising start here for the Mercedes man. And the drivers we have lost Chidung, Hennessy, Jenneth Lee, ADOS, and the driver serving a quali ban of Huview. So that is P16 to P20, bottom 5 drivers of the session will get dropped out, and then we're going to go ahead and get the next 5 drivers, and we'll see if any of them can improve. Because now it is heading into second qualifying, and then it is going to be the bottom 5 drivers of this coming session that will be eliminated, and then we're going to go ahead and see how it goes from there.
No worries. Good there. I'm just going to look at it. There's people saying low. Do you want to just double check that you got me turned all the way up, Rekus, on Discord?
While we go ahead and get that going, I will double check it. It's going to cause a slight interruption, but we'll see.
Yep.
All right, I'm going to turn you up. Actually, now, let's go ahead and try that. Try talking now. Although I've been hearing your breathing a little bit. I can definitely hear that, but we'll see.
How's that now? Hopefully that's better. If not, we'll fix it.
Yeah, there's other things we can adjust. We can adjust OBS. There's a lot of different things we can adjust, so... But yeah, also, I guess we will say rip the Vietnamese drivers because they are both out in Q1. But now we're going to go ahead and give things a go in Q2. Drivers are ready, trying to go ahead and get out. Get some good banker laps in. Nobody's wasting time at all. So the sky, I'm having a hard time telling if the sky looks like it's cleared up a bit. So, oh, here we go. We got a prediction started. And now the chat is saying that they can hear you just fine. So, hey, we fixed a little bit of an issue we got.
There we go. And there is a prediction in what time's going to be needed to get into Q3.
Ooh.
Go and have a prediction there. Put it in there and see what you think.
I usually get these kind of wrong, although the last time I actually got it pretty right and I put 25k channel points on it. But once again, guys, do go ahead and get involved in the predictions, and you could, if you get to, I think right now it is 70k channel points, you can go ahead and pick a track for next season. So you can pick pretty much any track that is currently in F1 25. So, and I believe even reverse versions are on offer. So, and I can promise you that's probably where my pick's going to go if I get to that point. But once again, we'll just have to see how it goes. We do have quite a few drivers going at beginning laps now. will run on board with the Alpine of Gangster as he'll be once again the first driver to go ahead and set a lap. And actually, I'll pass this one on to you, Shaz, and I'll let you narrate the lap of Gangster.
No worries, he's got a lot of pressure in the back of him from Dynasty, I think it is. Yeah, it is Dynasty, the only Aston Martin in Q2, but he's going to push hard. Gangster, going to see how he goes down into third and whips it in. There early, he's got it dialed at the moment though, he hasn't invalidated, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes into this DRS zone. Opens up the ERS and starts to send it down towards Ascari. And he's on his way. Again, dives in, he's gone purple because he's the first one on track. But we do know that does have a bit of a mind of its own. But here he comes. Let's see where he is. This will play in and tell us what the track's doing and let us know a little bit about where things are at. He's done well through parabolic here. He hasn't hit that curb. Oh, he's invalidated though. He's had a slight kick. That's unfortunate because that invalidates the next lap as well, being the last corner. That is very, very unfortunate for him. But we start to see some times come in. Balkan with a 19.1. Kudsi with a 19.3. 2A with a 19.4. And Wogjet with a 19.8. It's going to be interesting to see what time's going to be there in the Q3. Giving you a bit of time. Still 11 minutes to go, so they'll still have time to get around and into the pits and have a crack. Let's see who else we could ride with. The Calco, my Haas teammate. He comes in a 52.6 through sector 2 as we see Ranieri get into the 18s again.
Yeah, we're seeing some
all the way down to 6% with the ARS, and I'll hand it back over to you, Rekus.
Thank you. And yeah, I mean, we're seeing some pretty quick lap times here, so I think the prediction is going to be pretty tight. Right now, there is 12K channel points in saying that it is going to be a low 119 predicted to get in to Q3. Now, this isn't the poll time. This is specifically for exiting Q2 into Q3. So, it looks like that might be the case. I think it is probably going to be. So nobody is saying low mid 119 or mid 119 or a high mid 19, which I mean, pretty much there's only one driver in a high 119 at the moment, but everybody else is in mid to low, and then you have a few drivers in the 18s. The Mercedes pair having a really good crack at it. Breadman didn't have exactly the best Q1, but he's definitely made it up in Q2. As drivers are still going ahead, putting in some good lap times here, some really solid banker laps. So we'll see how the prediction falls.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. I think you'll see there'll be it'll be tight with this to go. Still 10 minutes to go, so see how they go. As the draw Claire looks to be the next one on track, so it'll be interesting to see what she can do through here.
So we'll see what Claire can go ahead and do. We're going to go ahead and bring you on board. Claire burning the battery in that Red Bull, pushing that Honda powertrain to its limits. Going into the first chicane here, the chicane of death in lap 1, turn 1. Doing a very good job now. Now we're going to go through the sweeping right-hander here. And this is a good place to go to get set up ready for the chicane leading to the Lesmos. It's a purple sector 1 for the Red Bull. Going ahead and making her way through the chicane. Going to go ahead and turn on the afterburners. And now going to go through the first Lesmo. Very, very loose on corner entry. Going through the second Lesmo. That one looked a bit more controlled. And now making a run down from the second Lesmo coming into Ascari. Gonna go ahead and fire it up. Hard on the brakes, getting to about 212 miles an hour. And now we're gonna go back on the battery as the Red Bull driver makes her way into the Parabolica, one of the most famous corners in all of motorsport. Good entry, getting a little bit into the grass there. That might have cost her a slight bit of time. Gonna burn up the rest of the battery, come across the line, and it is a time good enough for P7 on the track. The Red Bull putting in a pretty decent lap, but I think it's gonna be a bit close when we get to the later stages of this qualifying session.
Yeah, exactly right. We're seeing it there. The mid-19s already is what's going to be needed. This track's going to get quicker and quicker as we get through, so it'll be good to see what could happen. It's going to be a push in. Reigns is on a lap at the moment. As you see on the screen, he's just come through Ascari. He's gone purple through Ascari. And now he's on that run down to Parabolica. Interesting to see the different strategy. Some drivers wanting to leave 10-15% of battery for the last straight. Others going all the way down to zero and just getting into that start-finish straight. Reigns is at 20.6, so not sure what happened with his lap there. But he'll want to get in quickly, put some new shoes on and get back out to try and get into Q3.
Indeed, yeah, there's still a few drivers who have yet to set a lap time in this qualifying session. Gangster, who's invalidated, so he'll have to give it another go. And the other driver who didn't quite set a lap yet was Dynasty Spare, aka Brandy, up into P12 at the moment. Not safe at all, so realistically, you want to be in that lower 119 range. What exactly are we constituting as the mid-range? So is it like from a 0.5 to about a 0.6 is what we're going to go ahead and... Or from 0.5 to like a 0.7?
0.4 to 0.7 is mid.
Alright, there we go. That's a good number.
Yep. And then anything from a 19 to a 0.4 will be low, and then anything obviously below a 19 will be a high 118. But I don't think we're going to see that. But it'll be interesting to see.
It will be interesting to see. We'll just have to see how these drivers go ahead and navigate it, as Reigns is still not having a great session. He's invalidated yet again, so we were talking about it earlier with the kind of iffy track limits that have recently surfaced on this track here. I know there's some really weird spots to get invalidations here around Monza. Some were saying that this track was even at risk of getting the Miami treatment. If you guys remember from way early on in the season, around round 5 or so, we were going to run Miami, but there was a pretty rough bug. It was more crucial than that bug with the invalidations. I think it was like where some drivers would just miss like one of the kind of checkpoints that tracks use to keep track of positions, and you would sometimes end up a lap down. I think the bug was something of that nature for Miami. Got replaced with Mexico, but I don't think the bug is as severe for this track, as now we are kind of just having the Rekis and Shaz podcast as we wait for some drivers to go ahead and get things going.
Yeah, mate, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. It's going to be tight from 5th to 12th. There's just over 2 temps, so it's going to be tight on where people have to find time. It's going to be interesting what happens as we go through this as well. So it's been good qualifying so far, but yeah.
Yeah, Gangster once again going to be the first one out, as he is the only driver in the session right now to have not set a lap time. With 3 minutes to go, now here's the question: is it going to be a tad bit too early? Because he is on an outlap right now, but by the time he's going to get going, So there's one of the McLarens is out. I think that's Reigns. Yeah, that's Reigns. He's out. He's on his outlap. If other people start trying to go, and it looks like the other Alpine, yeah, now we're seeing a flurry of cars exiting that pit lane. Is Gangster going to run into traffic? I mean, I know that's always a gamble you're going to go ahead and take, but will the traffic potentially end his qualifying early? He's got the pace. He wants to be in that Q3, but will running into traffic kind of put a wrench into the works? Because you could make impeding you could put impeding reports all day long, but there's just some parts of the track where you really just can't get out of the way, particularly the chicanes of the two Variante chicanes and then Ascari. So Gangster will be back out on a lap now. The Alpine driver going to go ahead and fire up that Renault engine. Going to go ahead and get into the first chicane. You got to get a really good exit on that, or else your lap time's pretty much going to be done and dusted. We got less than 2 minutes on the clock for this session. So we're going to see how this is going to go ahead and play out for these drivers. The Alpine of Gangster going ahead and going through the second chicane. Oh, a bit wider onto the gravel, so that's going to be at least about a tenth of lost time at minimum. Going to go and put some overtake in. A little bit of overtake through the Lesmos. And now going to go ahead and make the run to Ascari. Some cars are going a bit slow, but it is an outlap for pretty much a majority of the field. The only cars that aren't on outlaps at the moment, well, for a moment, was the two Alpines. Very good run through Ascari, taking a bit of curb there, almost getting on the invalidation line. And here it is, a little bit of traffic, but he did get a bit of a tow, so that might have actually helped him out here. As he's going to make his way through Parabolica, and then he's going to go ahead and come across the line. What time is it going to be? It's going to be good enough for P5 for the Alpine.
Yeah, good for him to get up there. Gangster, that's tough early on, but as this flurry comes in, it's going to be around that mid-pack to see where they go.
Indeed, so there's a lot of drivers still on laps, so 12 seconds on the clock. The two Mercedes drivers, they think they're pretty safe, and I would honestly argue that that is a pretty safe bet, as they are the only drivers in the sub-119s. They're in the 118s, so they're in really good spots here. So we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on the drivers who are currently in the drop zone at the moment. So 2A is going to go ahead and jump up. Conti jumping up. He's going to join the 18s club. He's going to get P2. And look at this. Claire coming out of left field, getting a good lap time. Protein Group jumping up into fourth. Now it is up to the other drivers to go ahead and make a response. Chichin going to come across the line. F7 going to make it. And it looks like Chichin is potentially safe. What about his Williams teammate? Is his Williams teammate going to be safe? Gangster will be the next one across the line. At least I believe he is. He'll get up to 10th. So he's pretty much right in the danger zone. Mudpack is out. He will reside in P12. Not the strongest of starts for the Saubers. Reiko's going to come across the line, trying to get out of the drop zone. We'll move up to 9th, knocking Chichin into the drop zone. And now the only drivers that can jump up, and oh, that was a jump up. Oh, Breadman. I mean, here's the thing, too. Breadman's really just fallen way down here. So Reigns is going to be the last one who can make an improvement. And he's in the pit, so Reigns is out of qualifying.
God, it was tight. There was 300th of a second in it. I'll go ahead and manage that prediction.
So yeah, it is. Yeah, it's the low 118. It's a low 119. It's a very low 119s. Like it is literally 2A. 2A. So for those of you also like myself who predicted low 119s, thank 2A, because 2A was the only reason why that would be the answer. He is the only driver. He was P10 and he was right at 119. So I mean, you couldn't get much closer than that. But taking a look at our drivers who we have lost in the session, we have lost Reiko Ralph, Cheechin, Gangster, Mudpack, and GM Reigns. Those will be the drivers that we have lost in Q2. And now it is time for one more qualifying session. And it is going to be our 10 car shootout. So, one final session for our top 10 drivers here who have survived the gauntlet. They made it through Q1, they made it through Q2, and now they got one last chance to go ahead and put it on the line and see who's going to start for that pole position. Pole position could mean a lot here in Monza. Granted, it is a track where you can get some pretty good overtakes done and dusted, especially with a lot of the straights on the circuit, but also turn one puts you at a lot of risk, specifically because of that turn one in, or just that turn one and the potential for the Stewart's night to be loaded with turn one incidents.
Yeah, it could be. And we've got our first interview in here, so some of those drivers that have been knocked out, we've been lucky enough to be joined by Gangster. Gangster, unlucky, mate, to fall out. It was a quick time, but just missing out. Unfortunate for you. Can you think of why you're unlucky to miss out?
Yeah, hi Rika, hi Sej. Uh, yeah, it's my bad. I invalidated two runs in Q2. Like I know I can do better. Like get the time 118.6 or 7 very easily, but I invalidated. And my last run, I also did a mistake on second chicken, so it has to happen.
It does, it does. How you feeling going into the race?
Yeah, it's a good track to overtake. I'll follow and will overtake when I get the chance. I hope so I can make it to top 5 because there are very good driver in top 5. So to overtake them from the half of the grid is very hard. Yeah, hope for the best.
No, very good, mate. I'll hand you over to Rekus.
All right, well, Gangster, unfortunate for you in that quali session. Overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, how confident are you that you're going to reach that goal of getting back into the top 5?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident about that. I did a race in reserve last Friday, and I'm good at this track in a race. I did that without practicing, and so I did some of it today, so I can do much more better than Friday. So that's why I'm confident.
All right, and last question before we go and let you go. Any predictions on where you think your teammate is going to place in this top 10 shootout?
Uh, he can be in top 5 very easily. I think so. Doing higher wings on front on Q1 and Q2, I think he will lower it down. Then he will be in top 5 easily.
All right, well, once again, thank you so much for joining us in the booth, and best of luck in the Grand Prix.
Thank you. Thank you.
And another driver that we've got in that was unfortunate to miss out there. Reigns, welcome to the commentary box. Obviously, it's not where you'd want to be at this moment, but talk us through qualifying. What happened out there?
Q1, yeah, Q1 went well. It looked actually pretty bad on my end. It's been looking pretty bad on my end for the entirety of quali until the crunch time came. Q1 was fine. Q2, I just consistently had good sectors, but it's just didn't string them together was an issue for me. So it was not great. Didn't improve enough. Just missed out. Yeah.
No, that's unfortunate for you there, mate. How you feeling going into the race?
I'm pretty confident if I can go off of the Q1 times and the times that I should have had on the board. Pace looks promising, so I'm not too worried. I know I can fight at the front end. Just need to keep my nose clean lap 1. and we'll go from there.
No worries, mate. I'll hand you over to Rekus.
All right, so Reigns, first off, I gotta ask, how do you have the energy to come back to Monza after what you went through in the Singapore North American race earlier on?
That was. I mean, I have to kind of redeem myself for the Singapore race there. Mainly because I had a stupid drive-through. I hope I don't do that this time around. Might jinx myself now, but no, it's just getting enough sleep, power naps essentially, and yeah, this was an hour earlier for me to this time, so it was. I'm a little bit more after the first laps. I am a little bit more pumped up, so the adrenaline's gonna keep me going.
If you do get a drive-through penalty, I will say that is a not a commentator's curse. I will go ahead and clear my name and Shaz's name as well. That was not a commentator's curse. You heard it from the man himself. But yeah, I mean, and I will also, and I don't know, I can't speak for Shaz, but I am also like, when I was younger, I did not believe in naps, but as an adult, power naps are
Oh
a
yeah,
beautiful thing.
they're a lifesaver.
I cannot tell you how many times before these races I've taken a power nap and it's been absolutely perfect. But
Yeah.
anyways, do you have any predictions on where your teammate is going to qualify?
I think he's. I think he's gonna be in the top three. I don't see how he couldn't be. I don't know if he can compete with Ranieri, Claire. I don't know, but I think top three will be very much doable.
All right. Well, once again, thank you for jumping into the commentary booth. And hopefully you don't have a repeat of Singapore. And best of luck to you here in Monza.
Thank you, thank you.
That man was really put through the ringer in Singapore a few hours ago. So I mean, if you guys are not subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, go ahead and do yourself a favor and then go watch that Singapore race to understand what we're talking about here, because it was myself and GameHawk commentating for that race earlier on, and oh boy, that was probably, I would argue that had more chaos than the entire Oceanic region had in Singapore in the entire week. And I mean, that was easily the most hectic NAEU division race. So once again, if you guys are not subscribed to our YouTube channel, just look up Rush Racing 09. It should pop right on up. Go ahead and subscribe, turn on post notifications, and drop a follow if you are new here to the Twitch channel. We are growing pretty much every single stream. It's always really awesome to see. Also, go ahead and check out our Rush NAEU broadcast platform. It is, I think it's just called Rush NAEU on Twitch. I think that one recently hit 80 followers. I think that's a bit of a ballpark number. We'll have to see, but yeah. So, and anyone who has been following us for quite some time now, as we are one round away from another silly season here, Shaz.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. There'll be some interesting news come out in the coming days surrounding silly season, but I know it is going to be tight, especially as the overall's quite tight in Rush this season, to see what the rules are and how they are implemented in this second silly season.
Yeah, and I mean, a driver that we actually saw earlier, and I'm probably going to mispronounce the name because I pronounced it good when I was commentating actively in the race, but trying to go from memory is going to be a bit of a tricky one. But Robert, I think it was Kusinar. He was a Aston Martin reserve, and he got second place on his debut. So if he is interested in racing in the OCE division, there might be a few TPs really looking at him and maybe seeing him as a potential driver for one of the seats at Aston. But once again, that's going to be up to the team principals. That is just me stirring the pot a little bit, if you will, because, you know, there's always got to be speculations ahead of silly season. A driver who's really benefited from silly season is actually Dynasty. he was having a rough go of it at Mercedes. I'm sure. And Vettel might get Vietnam flashbacks to Monaco earlier this season. So Dynasty really wasn't having the greatest time on Mercedes, but he seems to have gained a new lease of life coming over to Aston Martin. And I'm sure there's multiple of those stories on multiple different teams. And I mean, some driver changes have worked out really good for teams. I mean, we were talking about Mercedes earlier, but look at Breadman. Breadman was a Div 6 driver, winning really handsomely in Div 6, and then jumped up to Div 4, and took about a round or two, but then pretty much just went back to business as usual. So, and actually, while I have you here, Shaz, are you eyeing any potential switch-ups for silly season?
No, I'm pretty happy at tough. Obviously, I'm probably not at the pace to contend in Division 5, and it was through the necessity of just wanting a seat. So it was. I had to go into Div 5. I've been in there. I've enjoyed my time at. D White is building something really nice there. He's doing a fantastic job as team principal that he's done since he come in. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can do at Haas in the coming season. So at this stage, I'll be staying at Haas for silly season and hopefully building on it for the building on it as we get into next season. So hopefully D White sees me and retains me, and I'll get into the right division, and we'll see what happens from there.
I heard something about you in a certain H-Town swapping seats at McLaren. I'm kidding. That's not. There's no truth in that in the slightest. That's just me making up stuff on the fly. But yeah, silly season is gonna be a fun one. I mean, we love having some fun here at Rush Racing League. If you guys haven't noticed, there's always gonna be a little bit of friendly banter between the commentators. What would be a really silly season is if I just randomly jumped into one of those seats. Which would not be a good idea at all.
It'd be nice to see you on the grid, Rekus.
I did a 124 on time trial earlier. I don't think that's even Div 6 based. Granted, I was running a Monaco setup for the funny, but yeah, no, I think I would you know how we have the cleanest driver of the day award for drivers who get into the least amount of incidents? I would get whatever the opposite of that is. So I mean, and oh, would you look at that? Qualifying's done. We've yapped on quite a bit, so now we're gonna get to the things that you guys actually really want to see. As Protein Group's gonna come around the final corner, and he's gonna come across the line. He's up in the 5th, so that'll be Protein Group's time. We'll see about a few other drivers. Breadman's into the pits. He's not going to go and improve. We'll hop on board with Falcon now. And we'll see here. F7 is going to come across the line here very, very shortly. And F7 to provisional pole. Can Falcon have a response? We'll see. He's up a 10th. He is going to improve on his time, but not his position. He'll only be a 10th behind. The only few drivers who could still potentially get this done is the Haas and the Mercedes. Is it going to be the reserve driver jumping up the pole? Is it going to be Calco? Surprising everybody here. He'll get up to 3rd, and Calco's in the pits. So,
invalidated.
Indeed, right at the last moment. But that means... So... Taking a look at it, unfortunately Gangster didn't get his prediction correctly, but Reigns did. He got his prediction correct. So just imagine we got some channel points for you. But all jokes aside, it is F7 on P1 pole position, and here's the crazy thing too, right? The top 3 drivers in this qualifying session are separated by less than 0.2 of a second. So it is very fine margins here at Monza, one of the quickest tracks on the calendar. And then we're going to go to get ready for some racing. But to go ahead and round out our top 10 drivers here. F7 does take pole position, followed by Falcon, Rainier. And then we have Claire, Breadman, Protein Group, 2A, Ikatsi, Dynasty Sparrow, aka Brandy, and then Calco, who had a good lap but was invalidated just through the parabolica. So unable to improve anywhere for the Haas. But I mean, here's the thing. These drivers have already put in their heart, their soul, their pain and suffering into qualifying. But can they keep up the pace for the race? Especially with how infamous turn 1 is here. So, are we going to go ahead and see some turn 1 shenanigans going on here? I mean, it's Monza. It's kind of to be expected, isn't it, Shaz?
It is Monza, and that's what we grow to. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but hopefully it's like last night and we can get through without much carnage.
That is going to be the goal here for these drivers, to go ahead and get on through here without any casualties going into turn 1. Turn 1 here in Monza is infamous in the real world, and you can talk to any sim racer out there. They're going to tell you that Monza turn 1 is the stuff of nightmares. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if some of these drivers actually did have nightmares over lap 1, turn 1 Monza. I certainly would. But yeah, we'll just have to see who is going to go ahead and conquer the Temple of Speed here in Div 4. The drivers are going to go ahead and get to the grid here very, very shortly. And then we're going to go and get racing here. Those 5 red lights are up on the gantry. And it is lights out and away we go through the Temple of Speed. And we're going to see who's going to speed off into the distance. We have these cars speeding into turn 1, and there's already an incident. That is Calco, I think, having a bit of a moment. So, oh, nope. Actually, I think we made it. We did make it. A few little bumps here and there. Some cars might have lost an end plate, but I think we actually made it through turn 1, lap 1.
Yeah. The onboard steward has noted it, so he'll look back at that later on in the race. Interesting to see a lot of mixed strategies, a lot of, probably, it's half and half almost, hards and softs. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, the Amazon tire thing was saying that is going to be, possible race strategy, saying it could be a 2-stop race here. What do you say to that? Because I don't know. I guess it just really depends on how much you want to push, because you could make a 1-stop work here, especially if you're starting on the hard compounded tires like a few drivers here have opted to do, including current race leader. But look at Claire trying to go dive up the inside into the chicane. Oh, but F7 just has so much pace coming through the chicane. I mean, that was really rapid.
Yeah, 1-stop is doable, but you've got to conserve tyres in the first stint. You've got to, if you're on the hards, lap 17, really to make it work and be viable. And if you're on the mediums, in the first stint, you really want to probably push to lap 12, and that gives you 15. It is, but in mod practice, it can also be costly as well, because if you hit the curbs in the wrong spot, as we seen last night with Lockie, you cop a penalty.
Yeah, and especially with a lot of reports before we even started racing here, I think it's the day I heard about the most was right before the Australia Formula 2 race that happened on Friday, was there's a lot of weird track limit violation spots and a lot of weird places to pick up track violations, and I think we probably saw some of those in quali. I want to say it was around Sector 1 as we have a change for the lead here. Is it going to be a repeat of history? No, Claire gets it done this time. Claire will get that position, and look at this conga line of cars here. It is Claire to F7 to Falcon, and we have a moment in the back here. It is Huview getting taken around a bit. Genethly also having a bit of a moment, losing a good chunk of the front wing on that V-carb. And these drivers are going to go ahead and continue fighting. I mean, it's kind of hard to kind of pick where to look right now because there is battles going up and down this field right now. And pretty much in every part of the field right now, there's some kind of battle going on.
Yeah, there are. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens here because for the likes of F7, his hard tire will be hurting at the moment behind Claire, but it's basically, other than Breadman just falling out of it, from 1st to 12th, they're in a DRS train at the moment.
Yeah, indeed. So that's going to make things really interesting. As now we got the run going into turn number 1 yet again. Falcon going in, passing one. He'll get the other. It's going to be tight. But who can? The Williams can. He'll get it done. What a double. He got 2 for the price run, but Rainier is going to go ahead and try to get some moves done as well. Taking advantage of F7, going ahead and jumping the McLaren man as we have our first track limit violation penalty going the way of Huview. And now look at this Protein Group, pretty much right at the back of the Mercedes. He's going to try to get a move done. Onto Breadman, and it's a big spin! Big spin there, big contact. He collects 2A. Oh, he's going to run into the side of the other Alpine. So, no safety car, but there's definitely damage on those cars.
Yeah, they're getting the elbows out in the back of the pack at the moment. So, that's what happens here at Monaco. Not Monaco. Sorry. At Monza, they get the elbows because it is there's so many very heavy braking zones that it is easy to make the overtake work if you got probably the courage to take it on.
It's because I said I did a time trial in Monza earlier with Monaco wings, isn't it?
Yep.
Which, let me tell you how abysmal that was later on, but okay, here we go. Once again, close battles here. But, I mean, the chat is talking about it, so I know I got to bring it up again. That double overtake, and it looks like Claire was thinking about shaking for a move in the Red Bull, trying to kind of repay the overtake in kind to Falcon, but that overtake was absolutely beautiful from Falcon as we have another yellow. It's one of the Saubers. It's Mudpack. Yeah, so Mudpack stuck in the mud, essentially, here. As now he is going to come out right behind Jeneth, who is still carrying that front wing damage.
Yeah, it's going to be tight to start another in the chat.
Yeah, we're going to see some really tight racing here. Once again, these top 4 all really close to each other. F7 taking a bit of a wider line, maybe trying to get some better speed. Coming out of the Parabolica, DRS is going to be open for 3 out of the 4 drivers in this immediate gaggle. And they're going to go ahead and try to jockey for a position. Claire looks like she was thinking about taking a move, but decides against it. Not enough real estate there to get that move done and dusted, but Claire is still going to go ahead and give it a go as she is done staring at the back of the Williams. And we'll see if the Red Bull can get it done. It does look like the mediums might have been the better tire to start off on here, but they could be suffering later on, so it might be a good idea for Rainier and F7 to kind of conserve their tires at this point because they are going to be at the better tires in the long run. So as we continue to run along on the circuit here, Breadman now is going to be in a conga train of his own, but not the one he wants to be in. He's got a lot of drivers who are pretty much just right behind him, who are going to be shaking for a move once they come out of the Parabolica. Will any of them get it? We'll just have to find out.
Yeah, and I've just put a prediction in the chat, so those that are watching along, when will we see a safety car? Before lap 15, after lap 15, or there will be no safety car? So, get your votes in. Paul Protein gets 10 second penalty. That is unlucky.
Yeah, I was just going to actually bring that up. How we have a driver in the pits now for a speeding in the pit lane violation. Probably the most brutal pit stop, or most brutal penalty in the entirety of the game, as he's going to go and make his way on through. Sue does set the fastest lap of the race, who is currently in P15. So he is currently going to, and actually Henderson now is going to take that mantle away. So we are going to see some really good driving here from these drivers as they make their way through the Lesmos, and now they're going to go ahead and make the run to the Ascari chicane. It is a pretty good spot to overtake as Claire and Falcon are still duking it out. Starting to kind of pull away there from Ranier there. Still trying to pull away from that Mercedes. We'll see if Claire can make the move going through Parabolica. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not the best idea to make a move through Parabolica, I'd say.
At the moment, Ranieri's in probably prime position because his tyres are going to be a lot better than Claire's mediums, because the mediums are going to start to fall away as we speak. And Claire's had to spend a lot of ERS there defending Ranieri. So Ranieri's in a good spot at the moment, but his job's going to be that once these two front runners pit, it's about creating a big enough gap. We seen last night 24, 25 seconds, if you get it perfect, is how long you need to get through the pits and have a gap, and his job is going to be to put a big enough gap between him and the medium runners now to hopefully get a jump on them in the pit lane.
Yeah, that's going to be the ideal strat for some of these drivers here tonight. I mean, strategy is going to be a bit of an interesting thing because when you think of tracks that really start chewing through your tires and just kind of the tire muncher circuits, Monza isn't normally a track you'd think about on that counter, but then again, they did say that a 2-stop was on the cards here, but then again, they also said a 3-stop is on the cards, but yeah, I don't think anybody, unless there's damage or any of that, or maybe a safety car, I don't think anyone is going to go ahead and try to make a 3-stop work here. I would be very surprised.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't think a 3-stop would work. You could do it, but I reckon you'd be quite low down in the points.
Yeah, I would. The only way I can see that working is if there's like a safety car, or it's one of those conditions like what we saw earlier in the North American Singapore race, where there was changing conditions. So it was slicks to start with, and then people went for another set of slicks, and then it started raining, so they go for a set of inters. But I mean, the sky does look cloudy here, but I think it is likely going to stay dry. We haven't heard any reports of rain being expected here. It is going to be a cloudy track, but that's going to be about it. But having a cloudy track does mean that the track is going to be cooler temperature-wise, and they'll probably have a better chance at, trying to manage these tires because the tires won't get quite as hot. But look at this. Ranieri is going to be pretty much right at the back of Claire, trying to make the move going into Parabolica. Are we going to see it? No, not quite, but that is going to be a really good setup to get a really good run on Parabolica exit, going wide, and Claire's actually into the pit, so I think some of these drivers either are planning on going really long on the hards, or they may actually be going for a two-stop here.
Yeah. Well, this will be right on that cusp of that 17 lap of this race. 17 laps is probably where the longest you want to send your hards. You don't want to go much longer than that. And we are seeing it now. The medium runners will start to pit now as they get through. They'll be waiting for a safety car. But as we've seen there, Claire's pitted. Where is she? She's 12th in the pack, so she's 24 and a half seconds behind Falcon. So roughly 24 seconds behind Ranieri. Ranieri's on the charge though, and so is F7. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Once Falcon does pit, what Ranieri and F7 choose to do. And it will be a game of cat and mouse.
I will always remember okay, that's Falcon coming into the pit stop. Falcon will be the next driver to peel off into the pits and shed those medium tires, get on a new set of hards. But there's this one driver, I cannot remember the division, I just remember it was last season, and it was at Interlagos. There was a Ferrari driver, which granted, this was back in F1 24, so tire management was a bit of a different case. Is F7 trying to stick it around the outside, trying to get it done, going into the chicane, going into Lesbos. The effort was there, but the success, not quite so much. Forget whatever I was going to say. We have a beautiful battle on our hands here for P1.
We do at the moment, but that has caused F7 to lose some speed. So whether he's hurt his tyres too much, I'm not sure what's happened there, but he has caused him to lose pack. He's caught back up now, so he's back on that diffuser with Ranieri.
We'll see if he can get the move done. He's got a lot of speed. He's going to think about it. He will try to shake for a move, trying to go into Parabolica, but he just doesn't have the time or the real estate, or probably even really. He probably knows it's probably not the brightest idea to try to make a move into Parabolica, especially because then he's going to get DRS shortly after that. So, F7 is going to go ahead and turn on the afterburners. He's going to go deep on the brakes, and he's got the move this time. F7 into the lead of the race on the hard tire. And we are now probably going to see the remainder of these medium runners go ahead and stop either this lap or next. So here we go. The field is now getting into their strategy battles here, as some cars are just now exiting the pits and going ahead and putting on a challenge to the car just up ahead as we're riding on board with 2A, who's going to go ahead and continue to try to push to get to the back of Dynasty just up the road. Now 2A is he's on older tires. He's on those 7-lap old mediums. So that's actually interesting. So he pitted pretty early on. He might have had damage that caused him to pit, but still pretty early pit stop if he's going to try to make those mediums try to go to the end, unless he's going for a 2-stop.
Yeah, it's going to be tight to see what he does. I think they're going to be right now, though, to get to the end. If they get a safety car, they will definitely get to the end. And it's just about sitting there now.
Indeed, yeah, so we'll just have to see how the strategy is going to play out. You're going to have to really manage your tires, but if you're pretty much tucked right in behind your rival, then that dirty air is going to put a little bit of extra stress on those tires. It'll cause them to wear out just that little bit quicker. And now we are potentially seeing some of those effects maybe affecting Ranieri a bit, as Ranieri is trying to go ahead and put in some good pressure, but I think the dirty air is just keeping that Mercedes at arm's distance.
Yeah, it is, and it's causing Ranieri to think about it. Ranieri's in the box seat here, though. He controls it because he's close enough to play a bit of cat and mouse with F7 and try and get F7 to go against what F7 wants to do.
Indeed,
Spent a
so
lot of time.
indeed, or he might go for the undercut here. We'll see. Is he gonna dummy it? I don't know if that was a dummy attempt or just him trying to get close to the line. Either way, if it was a bait, F7 didn't fall for that, but he will fall down to P2. Not much you can do, but look at this, a dive again from F7. He goes deep on the brakes, but just a consistent pace of Ranieri is just too much for F7 to handle. He will cede the position to the Mercedes, and now the Mercedes could go for a pit stop, but look at this! F7 going to go ahead and get the pass. He's had a good burst of speed there. He's definitely put on some of that battery just before the Lesmos, and he will retake the lead of this race. But if these two keep battling it out like they are now, then Falcon and Claire are in really good positions to go ahead and close things back up.
Yeah, mate. 100%. They are pushing hard, these two at the front, but they've got to because they've got to try and create a gap for Claire so they can get in front or at least challenge her. They're going to be on the better tyre, but the question is going to be, are they going to be able to get through the pack?
As I actually did get a pronunciation guide there from Vettel, so thank you, Vettel. You're awesome for that. So, Ranieri trying to go ahead and put pressure onto F7. We'll see if the Mercedes man can get it done. He's going to go ahead and turn on the afterburner. Oh, he's not actually turning on the afterburner. He's got DRS, but he's not really conserving the actually, he's conserving the battery. Not really pushing it. They're about 2 laps away from the Shaz pit window, as we're going to call it for tonight. So they're about 2 laps away from that. 2 laps from when you said that the hard tires were going to go ahead and come on in. So if you predicted that the safety car would be coming in or would be coming out around this lap, hate to break it to you, but there's a pretty good chance that you are unfortunately wrong in that regard, including myself. I won a bet earlier and I lost a bet earlier today with the predictions, but that's just kind of how the channel points go. But we're going to see how these drivers navigate, and we'll see if we can see some moves here. Hopefully we don't see a safety car, though, because even though, granted, I did put my prediction in for a safety car to come out around now. Honestly, Singapore made it to where I don't want to see another safety car again for another month.
Yeah, that's understandable to see that. As we say, Wreckers unfortunately pick up a 3-second penalty for those tight track limits, but yeah, it has been tight. These hard runners are going well. Falcons just jumped ahead of Claire, ahead on the hard tyre, so they're both on fresher hards. Falcon 1 lap younger than Claire, so it'll be interesting to see what happens once the front runners pit, and at the moment it looks like they're going to be coming out of round P10. So then they'll be on the charge. As we say, the first of our hard runners that have made it through without any contact.
Yeah, and actually there must have been a moment with Ranieri and F7. Must have been a moment because now Ranieri is out of DRS range. Still trying to close the gap up ahead. And, oh, we have that's not a Williams. I think that is a Williams. That's Chichin having a bit of a moment earlier on, but it is cleared up. There is a missing end plate on the Williams. So we'll see how that affects Chichin's race. But Claire and Falcon going at it again. Calco getting a 3-second time penalty. And look at this. It is a 3-way drag race going into the Parabolica. This drag race will pick back up again. They're going to chase after Hillview this time around. So we'll see. They're going to go ahead and push. And there it is. That is Ranieri going to go ahead and come into the pits in that Mercedes. And now F7 is going to extend. Look at this. Falcon again getting the move done on Leclerc in the chicane. And you just cannot challenge Falcon in that chicane. You're just going to lose it out. As we've seen time and time again, Falcon is definitely on the hard charge here.
He is. He's pushing it. He knows that he's got to win in his offering here. If he's able to get it done, he's just got to be careful about when he gets it done. He's going to have DRS and the better tyre. We're inside 10 laps to go, so it is going to be tight to see. But let's see what happens here. At the moment, it's Falcon that is our technically. Leclerc gets the move done on him on the way into Parabolica. So possibly the Williams running a bit higher wings. As we see F7 dive into the pits and get the medium soap. We are on here. It's a game of cat and mouse really, these two, because they just push each other. Oh, Claire's missed her braking zone.
Oh yeah.
Unfortunate. Missed
Yeah.
her braking zone.
And a 10-second penalty too for the corner cutting, even though
Yeah.
Claire went as slow as she possibly could. We were just watching the pit stop with F7. We kind of caught the aftermath of that braking zone misfire. So, I mean, Falcon, here's the thing though, Williams in the constructor standings here in Div 4, unlike the Div 2 standings I read earlier on. Here, they're pretty close to the bottom. They are currently in 7th right now, but they have a chance. In these positions, they could jump Sauber for that position here, but Falcon will need to win for them to jump Sauber in this race. Actually, another driver kind of just came out of left field who I believe has already, yeah, he's already made his pit stop, so everybody's made their stop here so far. So I'm thinking it's going to be a few more laps, but I know we got to start putting some thought towards driver of the day here pretty soon.
Yeah, we'll have to start thinking about it. We'll get it in and get the poll up early. You tell me who you think.
Alright, we're going to see here. I am going to have to go ahead and let's look at some position changes here. I'm going to have to go with, I'm going to put it with Dynasty, because Dynasty has made it actually. I'm going to go and still say Dynasty, just because he has moved it up 7 positions without a penalty. If Huvio didn't have a penalty, I'd give it to him, but I think Dynasty has done probably this is another really good drive. I mean, it's just another showcase of how life has been for the Australian driver ever since he joined the Aston Martin fold. And also, do you have Protein Group, because he was also just disconnected.
I'll quickly send him an invite. My driver of the day. In a second, once I try and protein.
We'll see what the chat has to say in terms of their driver of the day pick. Just a reminder for everybody who may be unfamiliar, driver of the day no longer grants you a bonus point, but the Clean Racer Award will, as F7 will get the fastest lap of the race so far. F7 now going to try to close up to this battle. And Conti now trying to put pressure on from the sister Red Bull team to the main Red Bull team. Trying to put pressure on to Claire. He's got a good run going through. Taking about a move into the chicane leading to the Lesmos. Thinks better of it. As Ikatsi now is going to go ahead and try to put a bit of extra pressure on. So, once again, it'll be pretty much a battle of who could just navigate these DRS zones the best, and honestly, who could keep it out of the gravel.
Yeah, 100%. It's going to be interesting to see what happens as they go through.
Oh.
I'm just trying to forget Protein, but I don't know him as a friend. Have you got him as a friend?
Yeah, I will go ahead and try to grab him real quick.
Yep.
Oh, he's not appearing on my end unless he...
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. We got a pass here. We'll come back to that in a moment. It's a pass for position. Akazi's got the DRS going past Claire. And through goes Akazi, currently in P3 at the moment, but F7 will likely claim that position back as he doesn't have penalties. So, but once again, we'll go and take another look and see if we can get Protein Group in. Just do another quick look. Yeah, I don't have him, so
Yeah, I don't have him either, so you'll have to get an invite. Cool, he's got an invite.
Oh, he has an invite. Alright, well, there we go. Hopefully he'll be able to jump back in then if he's got one. So, well, back to your regularly scheduled programming. So we're going to go ahead and watch as actually F7 is making a good enough of a charge on these medium tires, but the question is it going to be enough as Claire gets another penalty to add to her collection? She's got 13 seconds of penalties. So right now she's just racing for personal pride at this point, because those 13 seconds of penalties is really going to hurt her race.
We've done Driver of the Day, Gov. It was Dynasty and Gangster.
Dynasty and Gangster are the two picks for Driver of the Day. So once again, once that poll is created, if you guys would love to go to cast your votes on who you think should be Driver of the Day out of those two, then feel free to do that. Unlike the predictions from earlier, it does not cost any channel points. It just costs a few little button presses, so it's pretty easy. And we'll love to see what you guys' votes are, because I think both drivers are pretty solid candidates for Driver of the Day. As now F7 back on the charge, trying to get past Claire, trying to put that Papaya car into a higher position, or the Papaya and a Chrome car. We'll see. Got a pretty good run to the DRS zone. Claire doesn't have DRS, so this is going to be pretty much a slam dunk move around the outside for the McLaren. That's as easy as you'd like it. And now we have... I thought that was F7 for a moment who got a penalty, but no, it is the other McLaren of Reigns. He's going to go ahead and get a penalty as F7 is going to try to charge after Akatsi, who is actually fighting with Dynasty here, trying to go ahead and fight it out. I mean, this is going to be a spicy battle here. But here's the thing, F7 is going to have the fresher tires. But he does have a lot of battery left in that McLaren. He's running low on the battery, trying to burn it all. Oh, he's going to have to go deep. Oh, that's rough. Ikatsi and him coming in contact. Ikatsi locked up the brakes, and Ikatsi has to back out of that one. That could have been race over for the two of them.
It could have been, yeah. 100%. As we say, Protein gets back in, so... it's going to be interesting. He's got 4 laps to go. Can F7 catch past Dynasty and then get on the run to Falcon? I don't think he can.
It's going to be a tall order.
Yeah, 6 seconds, 4 laps. Those hards will start to fall away, and the medium got enough. His medium should be okay, but yeah, it's going to be a tough ask.
Yeah, it's going to be a very tough ask indeed. I mean, yeah, it's going to be a tricky one. But here's the thing, Dynasty, he can defend this too and just make F7 say just that much harder. So, I mean, there's a very good chance that F7 could have pace, but Dynasty's defense could just be better. And then that gives Falcon even a better chance to kind of run away with things. We'll see, though. It is a very long run down into turn 1, but Dynasty isn't giving him any room. F7's going to try to hook it around the outside, but Dynasty's putting on some good, solid defense. But in the end, I think F7 is going to get it done and dusted. He will get past Dynasty. Dynasty put up a good effort on the defense, but it just wasn't quite enough. F7 is now fully on the hunt.
That he is. He's got 4 laps to go. He's got to try and catch 6 seconds on these tyres. He's just got to push and push and push and hope.
Yeah, I think it. Oh, good. I think it's going to be too little too late unless Falcon has a massive mistake up front in the Williams. But right now, a penalty could also really change things too. Because F7 will probably try to make some pretty good lap times here. So we'll just have to see what F7 can do in that McLaren. He's actually not really gaining time.
Please. Rekus?
Hmm?
In the chat? The chat would like to see the tyres, please.
Alright, we will check tires yet again. So here we go. Protein on the soft tire, although I think that's because he did. I can promise you his AI did that. And yep, going very slowly here. So here we go. 7-lap old medium tires versus 14-lap old hard tires. I think it's just too little too late for F7, but once again, it's rush racing, so anything can happen here.
Yeah, it's at 100%. Anything can happen here. So, they'll look to just try and consolidate if they can. This top 3.
Indeed, we have another caution in the Parabolica. That is one of the Racing Bulls. Should it bring out... well, it's too late for it to bring out a safety car, so I don't think that's going to... gonna cause anything. Hennessy and Ados into the pits once again. They're gonna switch to soft tires just to go ahead and, I guess, just for the sake of it, I suppose. Don't see much of a advantage there. We're gonna see some pretty interesting moments here as Gangster now just in the back. There's gonna go ahead and try to get close to the back of the reserve driver of Ranieri. He's going to go ahead and give it a go. He's got the DRS. He's got the speed. That's an easy move. He'll get it done, dusted, and delivered. And that is pretty much, once again, as easy as you like, but a bit of a brake lock up there for Gangster. But he does get it done.
Pens, please, if you can for...
Yep, there we go. So here's the pens once again. So right now it is Claire with 16 seconds of pens. Akatsi with 6. So once again, that's a bit of a moment there, as they're actually getting through the blue flagged cars. So I mean, it's pretty much just going to be a race of survival here, coming up to the end, as we have a driver who is closing in on the final lap of the race here, and there's going to be some battles happening. But once again, they're not going to really equate to much, because most of the drivers in position to battle are pretty much loaded with penalties. So
Yeah, you see,
I am actively going to ignore the 6-7 things in the chat as we see Falcon starting lap number 27 while running the number 27, at least in his gamer tag. So he's going to go ahead and give it a go. It is the final lap now here in this Italian Grand Prix. F7 gave it the old college try. Oh, a bit of drama back here. But once again, we're going to jump back to this position. Oh, actually, it might be some more drama. It got cleared up pretty quickly, so I think we're going to just go ahead and do just a little bit of a jump back here. As now we're going to go ahead and just watch. Now, F7 gave it the old college try, but he will take solace in the fact that he did get a nice podium finish here, as Falcon now is making his way to Ascaria for the final time. The Williams driver getting the right call on the strategy, and now he's got one last corner left to go. The famous Parabolica is the last corner. He's going to have to navigate here. And he's going to go ahead and swing it around town. And I think that's one of the Ferrari. That's a Ferrari going in and getting on through. But he'll see the checker flag first. Falcon wins the Italian Grand Prix F7. A mighty fine effort there from the McLaren, but he'll just bring it home in P2. And then Dynasty will get it home in P3 to round out the podium. And honestly, that was a really clean Italian Grand Prix, I'd say, for the most part.
Yeah, it was tight. It'll be interesting to see whether David and Claire look to get that 10 seconds removed. But it'll be all about now pushing to the end and seeing where they believe they're at. So, what a good night of racing here in F4 or Division 4. We'll wait for the top 3 to join the comms box.
Indeed, so it is. So it'll be Falcon, F7, and Dynasty jumping into the comms box if you guys could. Also, Dynasty did get Driver of the Day, as initially voted by us here in the comms box, but now officialized by the Twitch chat. So that is going to be the end of a very clean Italian Grand Prix, I will say. So we'll see who gets that clean Driver of the Day. And we'll see who it's going to be. But first, I think we have podium celebrations first. And this is a picture-perfect podium celebration for a team that started off the overalls in a pretty rough spot. But they've definitely turned around since silly season. And what a week it has been for Williams. They're going to go ahead and take the first win of the week. And we'll see if they can bring more in, as the champagne is going to get spraying. It's a good start to the week for Williams, but can they keep it up? Can they keep it up even later on tonight? Because it is Div 2 straight after this, as we're going to go ahead and take a look at things. There is no clean driver today. There is... do you have one, Chaz? Because I got nobody.
I will... Maybe it's kicked us out.
We'll see, but we do have the results here, so we're going to just go ahead and just kind of glance on through with it really quickly. I mean, yeah, we just don't have a clean driver of the day, apparently.
Yeah, I've been glitched. I've been kicked out.
Alright, so Hugh had the most overtakes.
Yeah, we got most overtakes, but we got no cleanest driver.
Well, alright, I guess, I don't know. I guess Hugh might get that point just for the most overtakes, just as the next thing possible. But yeah, that's a weird one. Anyways, we do have one of our drivers in for interviews, and I am actually gonna go ahead and let Shaz kick the interviews off with Dynasty.
Dynasty, mate, well done. Good drive there tonight. Well done on finishing the race strong. How did you find that tonight?
Pretty good, apart from lap 1, turn 1. As I've said many times before, people just need to learn to brake earlier. It ain't going to be one straight away, and unfortunately I got wing damage straight away, so it didn't help the fact, but managed to still pull it home in good points, and my teammate especially as well, coming from P20 to P8. It was a very, very good drive from him.
No, very good, mate. It was tough out there. It was actually a pretty even split, 50-50, I think, in the end, hards and mediums at the start. How did you feel more confident on the medium tyre? Or?
Yeah, I did. It was a toss-up between going hards and meds. I was actually about to run the hards, but I changed my mind, knowing that the racecraft in here is not that great. I knew that if I went the long stint and I had to get past other people, it wasn't going to be basically given to me. So I decided, you know what, save me doing that. I'll just go mediums hards. If I get chased down at the end, which obviously F7 is pretty common, but was able to hold up everyone else, so that was the main thing.
No, very good, mate. I'll hand you over to Reckers. Good drive, well done, and good job on getting the points.
Thank you, mate.
So, Dynasty, welcome back to the comms box. Good podium for you, and overall, just a really good result for your team. Things are really heating up in the overalls here at Rush Racing League Season 9. Do you think this is a result that we can see more often from you guys here, just going through the remaining rounds of the season?
I hope so. It just all depends on, I think, other people's racecraft. Unfortunately, a lot of us are clean, but there's just a few that need to learn to be a bit more patient. I did see a crash on track in front of me, which two people were very aggressive at the start, wiped each other out. So that's pretty much, I'm hoping that keeps happening, and I'm just able to keep getting podium after podium, and hopefully maybe take Aston to overalls.
I mean, the result that you guys pulled here today will definitely at least push you guys a bit further towards that objective. You guys did crucially outscore Ferrari, who didn't have the greatest of times here at their home track. But speaking of, actually, I'll talk about the next 2 weeks, because the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty hectic. Next week it is round 12 for a 100% race around Abu Dhabi. So, what are your opinions on that track and it being the final 100% race of the season?
50-50 for that track. Last time I went there, I got a podium. The time before that, I smashed a plate. So, could be 50-50. Depends if I lose at turn 2, I think it was, or turn 3. Whether or not I'm having a good race or not. But from the setup I did use the last time, I think I'm going to have a very good race, hopefully.
And then after that, it is the 1 week break for silly season, and then it is the last special week of the entire week. It is an Austin Sprint Week at the Circuit of the Americas. So, do you think that you're gonna have good pace around there, as it's the final kind of special weekend of the season?
I don't think it's really pace to worry about. I think it's more the track limits. There's a lot of people that get pens galore, so pretty much the idea is stay out of penalties and hopefully work my way up through that way. But yeah, it's not a bad track, but I don't really like it. Don't really hate it, so let's hear.
All right, last question before we go ahead and let you go. Is there anyone you would like to thank or shout out after tonight's race?
Yeah, shout out to the whole Aston team. They've been really good. Engineering really good as well. Hopefully that keeps going, and obviously my teammate as well. He did fantastic to P20 to P8, and yeah, Falcon, well-deserved win. That's probably overdue for him, so congrats to him.
All right, once again, congratulations on driver of the day and the podium, and we'll see you next week in Abu Dhabi.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for comms.
All right, next up we have Falcon actually in the commentary booth. So I'll go ahead and let you interview our race winner here, Shaz.
Thank you very much, Reckers. Well done, Falcon, on a good win. I'm sure Dito and the Williams boys will that win, mate. Does that fit?
I think we had a little bit of a tech issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear now. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well done, Falcon.
Well, that's an interesting problem. I wonder what happened there.
I'm not sure. He was here and then he's not.
Yeah, it's like I hear you for a split second, and you just kind of trail off into the ether. Um, it could just be Discord doing Discord things. We'll try this again. Oh, Falcon's muted. That might explain a few things.
No, just muted now because I couldn't hear him.
All right, let's give this another go. Shaz, take it away. All right, I think it's just Discord doing Discord things here. Yeah, we'll see. Um, let's give it one more go, and then we'll just cut to the chase if it happens again.
I think you try and take it over, Rekus. We're having some difficulties here.
All right, so I'll go ahead and just ask a few questions. So Falcon, congratulations on a very good win here today. Overall, it seemed like the strategy just really played in your guys' favor here today.
Yeah, actually, that was a default strategy for us, to be honest, from the beginning. And the most important thing was to be incident free, clear air. And I know I always had the pace. It was just the fact that I needed a clean race. And I'm glad I had it today, and a much awaited first victory for me, actually, and first win for me. And I'm so happy for the team as well that I finally could deliver for the team.
I mean, getting that first win feeling is always a fantastic feeling, and I'm sure you are very happy about it. I know Dito and the rest of the Williams team are very ecstatic, and I mean, it was a very well-deserved win. So, just a few more questions before we go ahead and let you go. It is 100% Abu Dhabi next week. How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, the first feeling is that I believe there will be no rain, so I don't have to practice on rain, I would say. And yeah, it will be interesting. 100% race is will bring new strategies, will bring new gameplays, and it will test the strength as well of the racecraft. And yeah, we are ready for it. We have a great bunch of people in Williams. Will strategize and deliver.
All right, so last question before I try to pass you off to Shaz. Is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out tonight? Because, I mean, that was a mighty fine performance.
Yeah, my boys, starting from our TP, he has been instrumental with the team. Dido, thank you so much for having a patience with me. I was not able to deliver, but he always had confidence in me. My teammate Chris, he had mighty pace last weekend, and this time also he was able to bring in the points. So really happy for him. And Nishka and Keeper, my boys, always there to support and practice, and you as well. So yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you. Once again, congratulations on the P1, a very well-deserved win, and we'll give it another go with you and Shaz.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully, Falcon, you can hear me now, mate.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. No worries, thanks, mate. Lovely Discord. Mate, congratulations on a great win. As it sounds, and I know for a fact that's hard earned. How's it feel to finally deliver?
I'm feeling at least a kilo lighter right now. So, to be honest with you, we always had the pace over on the last tracks as well. But somewhere down the line, we used to had unfortunate incidents, couldn't pull off what we actually are capable of. So finally, I was able to deliver. I'm really happy, really happy for myself and with the team.
Yeah. How do you feel it is the atmosphere is around the Williams team at the moment? Dito's doing a great job, but how do you feel in Williams?
Yeah, I'm really happy that firstly it's my first season with Rush, so Dito picked me up, and we have a great bunch of guys. We are always there for each other. It's not like a solo game; it's always a team game. Nishka, Keeper, Chris, Dito, Govana. all bunch of people are always there to help support, strategize, set up everything. So I'm really feeling lucky to be with the team, and I hopefully this will continue for long.
No, very good, mate. Well done, finally getting that victory you deserve. It's been tough work for you, I know. So good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much. Cheers, guys.
Alrighty then, that's going to go and wrap things up here in Division number 4. We had fun here in Monza. I want to go ahead and give a quick thank you to all of our sponsors, Sim Racing Center, Pagnian SimLab, and AI369. And yeah, once again, thank you for Shaz jumping into the comms box kind of last moment. So once again, thank you, mate, for joining me.
No worries, mate. It was a good night of Division 4. Looking forward to watching Division 2 and hopefully not having to commentate or have much to do. Would be nice.
Indeed, and that does remind me to remind you guys that Division 2 is coming up right after this. So you won't have to wait too long for Division 5 to get Division 2 to get underway. It'll be later on tonight. On behalf of Shaz, my name is Patrick Coleman, and we've been your hosts and commentators for tonight's race here in Monza. Tune in a bit later on today when we head to Division 2 around Monza, and then for Div 4 action, tune in next week when it's 100% around Abu Dhabi. I can tell you it's going to be a 100% amazing race. Have a good night.